Hello, my name is Allison, and when I was asked to identify my teaching philosophy, I was quite overwhelmed because there are so many beliefs and values I want to impart upon my future students. After I started doing some reading and looked at some inspirational, insightful quotes, I realized that all I really needed to do was narrow down my teaching philosophy to specifics to allow the beginnings of my vision to take shape and grow. To first discover my educational philosophy, I first thought deeply about the broad social goals of education, or in other words, the reason I want to teach and what I want to achieve by teaching. As a pre-service Australian teacher, I eventually will have to teach the Australian curriculum, but I will also endeavour to teach the hidden curriculum, which is the unwritten lessons that help a child to discover who they are and what they expect from society. These can be values, perspective, cultural respect, acceptance, inclusivity among students. I will do this in many ways, but firstly by providing an understanding, kind, acceptive and inclusive environment for each and every child. This is the basis of my philosophy, as I believe that if you show kindness, you will reap endless rewards. Nell Noddings, a philosopher who explores the role of ethics and care in education, has many beautiful quotes. The following quote has inspired some of my teaching philosophy. Nell Noddings articulates, "My contention is first that we should want more from our educational efforts than adequate academic achievement, and second that we will not achieve even that meagre success unless our children believe that they themselves are cared for and learn to care for others." I believe a vital part of education is social justice and social transformation. This means that I will aim to reject functionalism within my class. I will be mindful that all my students will be socially diverse people with completely different needs. So rather than using teaching strategies that are a one-size-fits-all approach, I will inquire about my students and discover their individual requirements and beliefs. I will also involve parents and family in this process to discover their interests in the way of interpersonal meetings and forming relationships. Once I know who my students are, I will be better equipped to provide the knowledge they need to feel supported so they can grow and integrate as transformers people of society. A teacher who establishes rapport with the taught becomes one of them, learns more from them than he teaches them. He who learns nothing from his disciples is, in my opinion, worthless. Whenever I talk with someone, I learn from him. I take from him more than I give to him, in the way a true teacher regards himself as a student of his students. If you will teach your pupils with this attitude, you will benefit much from them. This is a quote from Mahatma Gandhi. This will not only help me contribute to my students' growth, but help me learn from them correspondingly. In the words of Paulo Freire, there is in fact no teaching without learning. The diversity of my students will be my biggest joy and also my biggest learning curve. Although the challenge I am excited to begin, I will undoubtedly encounter students with diverse linguistic, cultural and religious backgrounds. I will change and evolve new teaching strategies that are responsive to the individual learning needs and abilities of each of my students. I will do this covertly, as to not make any children feel singled out or like they are not able to achieve. I will also incorporate different cultures into the lesson to create respect and understanding. Socialization is the process that starts from birth, when all the influences a child is surrounded by imposes on them and shapes their beliefs about who they are and what they can do. This happens through the 5 major socialization agents of family, schools, media, peers, and society. There are many changes I want to see in the world. Firstly, I want to stamp out judgment and discrimination and foster an inclusive but diverse environment. To create this inclusive environment, I will select what decorations I display and the kind of texts I read and the messages I circulate. A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. This is a quote by Henry Brooks Adams. My philosophy is in its early stages of growth, and with a basis on acceptance and valuing each of my students, my philosophy can only develop from here. And with that, I'm excited for the future. These agents of socialization can circulate such concepts as what it means to be a boy or a girl, and often reinforce stereotypes and mythical norms. As I am one of these agents of socialization, I will aim to circulate many diverse meanings because I can cause positive transformation. I will aim to combat these stereotypes and mythical norms by thinking about the language I use and the transformative texts in conjunction with traditional, to acknowledge the diversity and avoid discrimination and isolation within my class. I will always be conscious that I need to be a positive role model and continue to demonstrate to my students that they are capable of anything they desire. I will enforce that meanings are only produced and can always be changed, so they never have to feel limited.